And we are live. Welcome to this edition of Wealthy Wednesday. Today is going to be fire. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Well, let's see. My name is Leah Garcia, financial professional and financial strategist and insurance professional. But you know what? Before I try to introduce myself and muck it all up, I'm going to allow my MotionWorks to introduce me. Take it away, MotionWorks.
Are you a business owner looking to secure your financial future and create a lasting legacy? I'm Leah Garcia, a financial strategist and insurance professional, and I specialize in guiding businesses with up to 50 employees on how to effectively protect and transfer their wealth. We break down silos with my unique approach, the Wall of Wealth. Imagine a seamless collaboration among your CPA, tax attorney, estate planner, and insurance expert, each playing their part in perfect harmony, ensuring your financial strategy is not just effective, but a true masterpiece. My passion stems from my own journey, from growing up on food stamps to dreaming of building community centers that empower others. Together, we'll craft a roadmap that not only safeguards your assets, but also nurtures generational wealth for your loved ones. Let's transform your vision into reality. After all, you can't measure the heart of a champion just by looking at them. Join me, and let's make your financial future shine.
Thank you so much, MotionWorks. Isn't that so amazing? Listen, I am upgrading and ready to rise up and thrive in 2025. How about you? How are you upgrading yourself? Today is going to be incredible. I am so excited. I've got my notepad ready. Listen, if you are an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, and you're ready to take that next level to step into the Web3, what is this all about? Today is for you. This is going to be real talk. Okay, you know me. This is not the puppy dogs and butterflies conversation. This is the real talk. So just be prepared. Some of this is going to kind of stretch your brain, but that's what we have to do. We have to upgrade our thinking, right? We have to have that growth money mind shift. We have to be ready to shift our thinking, get rid of that old stinking thinking, because what I got us there here won't get us there. So without further ado, I want to introduce my guest. She is just a mastermind. Her and Mr. Mike Drop, David Jones, they are the curators of HELLO LLC. What they do is incredible. They will help you to transform your business, transform your life. But with her, I call her Miss Christmas, because every time I see her, she has a gift for me. Oh, Leah, look we did this. We created this. Look what I did for you. I upgraded this. And it's just so incredible. So this is your opportunity to have Christmas in January. Yes, we are. We got Christmas in January. So without further ado, please give it up and welcome my incredible guest, Miss Christmas, Miss Tara Bush. Take it away, Miss Tara.
Well, hello, beautiful people. It's so good to be here. First of all, much kudos to you, Miss Leah, for having this amazing channel every Wednesday where you're bringing a wealth of knowledge. We tuned in last week to Chef Andy with your guest. We tune in every week, but you know, it's the fact of there's so much knowledge that you are bringing to your community and then some that is just impactful and powerful. And so I just want to give a big thank you to you, being a human, being an amazing human out here doing amazing things, and, you know, just helping other people grow and understand why, you know, they want to be financially protected and how they do that, and through the different avenues. So, you know, I'm appreciative of being here, and I'm ready for this conversation. You know me, I love everything Web3. And if we're talking about finance in Web3, we might be here for about 3 hours. I know we only have an hour, but.
Yeah. So our topic today is HELLO Web3, the frontier of wealth and finance. Folks, things are changing. It is absolutely it truly is a new frontier. A lot of this maybe you're exposed to, but a majority of this, I would say, you're probably not aware of. There's a lot of things that go on in the background to really, as an entrepreneur and business owner, to elevate us to that next level. These little nuances and these products and services and AI tools that are available that really we need. It's not even a matter of do we want to have them. It's really a must. We have them. Just like the internet transformed things, just like other platforms transform things, having things like Zoom, where now we were always meeting in person, and now we have this opportunity to meet people online, this is the next frontier. We have got to upgrade our business really in all areas. So Ms. Tara, let's see. I want to know, and as I've said this many times, it's like the skill set that got you where you are will not sustain your success. It won't. It's one muscle as an entrepreneur to get a business and get it going and start to get it thriving. In the beginning, we're doing everything. We're the janitor, we're the shelf stocker, we're everything in our business. But once we start to get that airplane going, right, we start to get that going, we got to start to leverage things out and bring in other systems and tools. So what would you say is like the number one thing that probably 99% of entrepreneurs are that mistake that they're making? It's a blind spot for them. What I'm going to say is not a mistake. It's a blind spot. It's an area they're not aware of.
It's 2 words, technical debt. It's easy as that. Let me explain what I mean by technical debt. How many of us remember growing up, and most of us probably, listening are maybe of older millennials. We might have got some younger millennials and some younger generations here, but we're the Gen Z, Gen X, some baby boomers. And how many of us remember having to be our parents, changing the channel on the TV station? How many of us remember VCR in the house and the parents didn't know how to use it, and they're like, you figure it out. And so what I'm trying to share about that is that that is an example of technical debt. Our parents really want to learn how to use a VCR because it's like, nah, the kids can do that. They can fix it. They can change the channel to the TV. That thinking right there is what puts us in technical debt. Because for instance, I was talking to my mother last night, and she's like, I got an iPhone 11 and I just did a few updates and it's running funky and slow and it's doing that thing, Tara. And what should I do? And I was like, time to upgrade, Mom. And she's like, I figured you were going to say that. And she's like, okay, guess I'm going to go into Verizon this weekend and get a new phone. And I was like, great, Mom. And I'm really proud of her because she doesn't allow technical debt to stand in her way. Like, oh my gosh, I got to get another phone. Now, same conversation, but with my brother, who is 48. He's 6 years older than I am. And he ran over his phone with a backhoe and smashed it and had to go get a new phone. And he is kicking and screaming and I don't want to do this and this is not my thing. And that's an example of technical debt. So it's a mindset. It's a mindset of where we are. What I shared this week and last week in our rooms was you can't stay idle. You're either going to be in debt or you're going to be improving. So you're either going to have technical debt or you're going to have technical improvement. And that right there is the blind spot that most businesses, small business owners, large business owners, corporations, humans in general, that is what gets them. Because we don't think technology, that we need to make that update with technology because we don't think it's needed. Or we have somebody that can do it for us. And that's great, but that technical debt really can bite us in the you-know-what. And a short example of that is in the South, there's a Hobby Lobby. I don't know if they have them in California, but it's a store for crafts and all that. They are going out of business due to technical debt. When 2020 happened, we all know everybody went on to the Amazon, ordered the groceries online, ordered our crafts online, and we just swung by and picked it up or had it shipped to the house. Well, Hobby Lobby, who is huge in the South, did not have any of those capabilities. And so because they would not, and this was the owner chose of Hobby Lobby to not increase his technical knowledge. And so he purposely put the company in debt. And now I had read last year that they're starting to shut down all locations because they can't survive in the world and the economy that we are today after the 2020 technology gap kind of got filled. A lot of us were doing the old school way, and now technology came in and it was real convenient. So technical debt is the biggest thing that will get a company.
That's so huge. And we're going to highlight something you shared. But I want to welcome a few people who've joined us. Ardelia, thank you for joining us. Great to see you. And of course, the incredible Miss Lisa Febeck. She is our menopause master. If you know someone going through the change of life, or even you just want to know about women's health, right? We've got different things that happen to us. Please connect with the incredible Miss Lisa Favec. And of course, we have Mr. Mike Drop, Mr. David Jones from the HELLO LLC, Miss Christmas Significant Other, and truly the mastermind. They are both fire. So when they get together, it is fire, fire. And then, of course, we got Jason Wilson. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, listen, let us know where you're at. Where are you tuning in from? I'm here in Monterey, California. And oh my goodness, we have Kiana Tompkins. She's an incredible. If you're looking to really optimize your LinkedIn profile and you want to start this whole game of this social media, get in touch with Kiana. She's incredible and she's wonderful to work with. And then we have one of my good friends, Miss Christy D. Williams, customer service professional. Hey, folks, if you're looking for somebody to help you with your customer service, Miss Christy is fire. I'm telling you, she is definitely somebody you want to connect with. And then my good friend Plantine, thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining us today. So I want to highlight what you said, Tara, and you said a lot. You definitely said a lot. But here's the thing. When I think of technical debt, I really correlate it to financial debt. And this is what I mean by that. Debt is insidious. Mm-hmm. You know, people get a credit card and they have a limit of maybe $500 in the beginning, and then they're excited about it and they go ahead and then they, charge on it and then they pay it off and it seems really cute. And then they get another one. And then suddenly they find that they can't pay those off at the end of the month. And now they look back and suddenly they have $10,000 in debt. Yeah. And now they pull money out of their house. They think they're paying off their debt, getting a reverse mortgage. Listen, it is compounding. Just like compound interest, your finances will thrive and grow with compound interest, so will your debt. And it's invisible. I meet people sometimes that they've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm talking about they want to retire in a couple of years, or sometimes it's tomorrow. Like, listen, you cannot retire. That's not true retirement. And so what I'm correlating this to is our technical debt. We may think it's not a big deal to maybe not be on social media now. Listen, most of my colleagues are not on social media, like at all. Yeah. They think what I'm doing is just crazy. Like, I don't ever do this stuff, right? So why is it that, and I get it. It's a different muscle. Miss Tara and Mr. Mike Drop Jones have been so patient with me. This was definitely a paradigm shift for me. I saw that I needed to do something, but I kind of felt like what I was doing was okay. Yeah. Having fun. I was, connecting with people, doing coffee chats, but I was missing so many opportunities. So why is it that we're so resistant as entrepreneurs, small business owners? We've worked hard and we have, had a level of success. Why is it so difficult for us to really open up those blind spots and to start to acquiesce to the professionals that could really help us to clean it up?
Well, because we fear the unknown. It's the, nobody wants to walk into a dark room with the lights off and someone says, well, it could be a full of, blankets and pillows and balloons and it'd be all happy, or it could be full of snakes. And you'd be like, I don't want to walk in there. No. And so it's that fear of unknown. We don't want to make that step forward because we know what works. We've seen what works for other people. And so we want to stick in that realm because it's safety in numbers. And so it really is for an entrepreneur in a business and a corporation to step into the unknown and just having that, okay, it's going to be fine. Regardless if this works or it doesn't work, it will be okay. And I have that conversation so many times with people about that conversation of it's going to be okay. Look, you don't have the buttons to the nuclear codes. You can't push a button that's going to send a nuclear bomb off and kill us all. You don't have that capability. So just push the button and it'll be okay because we can reverse it. And I think a lot of times we've got stuck in the fear, especially when it comes down to technology, especially when we're talking about the pivot into Web3. Because right now, this is all Web2 that we're seeing. You know, when you started at the very beginning, we were showcasing the Metaverse, and we'll bring that back up here in a bit. But the point being is, it's not familiar. It's that dark room that we don't know if we're walking into and what it holds. And so we've also been taught, oh, be careful, because if you push a button, you could erase all of your stuff. And guess what? That was a valid concept back in the 90s and the early 2000s. But now that we have cloud backup, now that everything is backed up, the short story of this is you're not going to hurt yourself. And most of the time, if you do accidentally wipe your files, they're saved somewhere else, backed up, and they're there so that you can just restore and go back to the starting point that you were at. So it's that fear of unknown, and it's the what if I mess up? And that right there, the what if I mess up, which you talk so much about with the financial investment and the insurance side of things. People are so afraid to make that pivot forward because it's, oh my gosh, what if? And it's that what if in life that keeps us all stuck. And it could be anything, technology, money. What if I eat this and it doesn't settle with my stomach right? It's that what if, you know? And so it's just really important for people to kind of lean into the fact that you're going to be okay. Just push the button and try it, you know, just like you did.
Yeah, I did, but it took me probably a year before I did. I had to watch and kind of get my mind around it because listen, at the end of the day, it's change, and our brain fears change. Our brain is programmed to protect us to stay in comfort. But listen, we don't grow in comfort. We don't thrive in comfort in any area. We are either growing or we're dying. That's the truth of the matter. I know it's difficult. I understand that, but I see so many entrepreneurs who are working themselves ragged.
Yeah.
They are truly working themselves ragged. I just talked to a business owner yesterday, and I asked her, listen, how long can your mind and body take all of this stress and anxiety? For how much longer can you do this? We can do it forever. And I want to highlight this comment here. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Miss Kiana said, I didn't know you two were a couple. They are what did I say? They are years and 5. And I have to tell you, when I first I met Mr. Jones, I call him Mr. Mike Drop, in the LinkedIn audio rooms. And I heard him speaking. He was always dropping golden nuggets, always bringing the fire. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. And then I heard him talk about his significant other. And I said, oh, I got to know who she is. I got to know who this fire is. And I met Ms. Tara and I just fell in love with her. It is very rare to see a power couple that are both fire and they work together so beautifully. Listen, what they create is really transformational. You see this incredible banner. I did none of this. Okay, I don't know how this works, but you know what? It's not what we know. It's who we know. And I know some incredible power people. So I love that. And Mr. Mike Drop, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Old keys don't open new doors. You got to upgrade your business. And in my humble opinion, those people, those businesses, entrepreneurs, I don't care if you're selling pins, I don't care what you're selling. If you are not in social media, if you're not upgrading your systems, if you're not becoming omnipresent, you are going to get left behind. I think I've been doing a lot of research. In the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to see a lot of businesses who are going to just fall off the radar. And you alluded to it, Hobby Lobby. Incredible company, well-known. Yes, we have them in California, and now they're looking at scaling back. So if we think it can't happen to us with our widget, it absolutely can and will happen to us. So let's talk about what is Web3? Like, what is this whole thing? What is this? Because, not all of us are all these technical people. What is this?
Yeah, well, I'll make it easy. What comes after 2 is 3. So this is just evolution. Let's start where we started. We started at Web 0, then we went to Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. Web 1 is what we knew back in the 90s, the AOL times, where we could instant message people and email, and that was the start of kind of Web 1. Web 0 was when IBM was creating computers, and we really didn't have them in the households, but we had them in the corporations and being able to do some of those larger server tasks. And so we moved from Web 0 to Web 1, and then Web 2 came around, which is where we are right now. And we're actually on the door jam between Web 2 and Web 3. I always liken it to, you know how you walk through the threshold of your house and you have 1 foot on your front patio or front doorstep and 1 foot inside your house? That's where we are right now in this transition. But Web 2 is social networking, as we are doing right now across so many amazing platforms. You know, it's having that online presence, having the internet capabilities of seeing, Googling or, you know, searching anything. Did you know that the amount of information that we have that comes out in one day is the same amount of information we used to get in 100 years because of technology? So that is absolutely insane. So now we go, okay, well, that's Web 2, Tara. Now, what is Web 3? Web 3 is the evolution of what we found didn't work in Web 1 and Web 2. So security, to make sure people's, you know, privacy is intact. Transparency. That way we can understand who and what, where, when, why is going on behind the scenes. And in reality, it's the immersion, like David is showing us right now in the HELLO LLC, in our HELLO Plaza in the Metaverse. It's the immersive capability as well. And so Web3 has a few areas, industries that are kind of aligned underneath that umbrella. That's going to be the fintech side. So that's financial technology, which is right exactly what we are talking about today. What falls underneath financial technology? That would be what most people know as cryptocurrencies, blockchain, NFT, anything. And to be very transparent, most people are already using Web3 capabilities and they don't know it. Let me share where. If you are Venmoing, if you are Zelling, if you are Cash Apping, if you are using PayPal or Stripe, those are financial technology companies that are integrating the blockchain into their Web 2 system and upgrading that, right? Then the other sectors with underneath Web 3 is, as you can see, AR, VR, so it's augmented reality and virtual reality. And what you see here is our virtual reality space, to where you can jump in and be completely immersive. And then the other sector in that is within the AI and then robotics. And those kind of sometimes go hand in hand, because AI, guys, AI is the glue to all of this. AI is what allows the system to be able to work. And that's the beauty of it. So those are kind of the sectors of what Web3 is. Now, the meat and potatoes is, how will that be applicable? And I'm sure we're going to dive into that. But, you know, the gorgeous thing about this is, if we're not evolving, like I said, if we're not advancing in our knowledge, then we are advancing in our debt. And that doesn't only happen within our companies, it happens in our personal finances, but it also happens in our life, our mindset, and, you know, our relationships. And so this right here, and understanding what the metaverse is and what Web3 is and how AI and fintech and everything comes in and works all together simultaneously, is truly the next generation. And this is where, and you spoke to it and I spoke to it, it's where we're at the cusp right now, where the older generation is like, I don't know what that is. Go operate the VCR for me, because I don't know how to do that. And in reality, it's very simple. The reason why it's simple is because humans don't do change well. We don't do drastic change at all. And so look at, and I don't mean to bring this, you know, into like a damper, But look at the poor people who are going through what they're going through in California right now with the wildfires. One day they have a house, the next day they don't. That is a drastic change. And that's hard to make that pivot because there's so many things wrapped around it. And that's exactly what happens when people get stuck and say, well, I'm good with just having this. And I will, use Miss Leah as an example. Before she came to us, she utilized a system and that included a PDF that shared her information. Nothing's wrong with it. It works perfect. But there might be a different way to do it that grabs more attention. And as I like to say, it makes it look sexier. And I know that word, some people are like, ooh, no, that's a little too much. But you have to understand our eye is the first thing that's going to make a decision whether we want to talk to that individual. And this is personal or professional. Our eye makes the first impression before our voice or our audio ever makes that. So first impression is visual, second impression is audio, and most people miss that with this. And so moving into Web3, and I'm going to share this, Miss Leah, is I'm going to say this. Miss Leah says, Tara, can we be on camera? I know we're going to be in the metaverse, but will you come on camera with me? And I said, yes, for you, Miss Leah, I absolutely will. And the reason I said that is because I love Metaverse. Look how cute I am with my pink suit and my pink hair. Normally my hair is not blonde, it's purple. But my point being is I don't have to put on makeup, even though, David's always like, you look adorable. I just hate going through the exercise of putting my makeup on and doing my hair. And so this allows people to be able to show up in a professional way that they want to and be able to start upgrading their business instead of downgrading by technical debt. So that's where we're going, but I'll jump in as we, share more questions here about kind of how it works.
Yeah, we definitely are. I want to highlight this comment. We're going to, is that I call him my Uncle Jesse. If you don't know my Uncle Jesse Staton, you need to get to know him. If you want to get in shape, I'm telling you, he posts incredible content. You got to follow him on Instagram. In fact, Uncle Jesse, if you could put your Instagram handle in the comments. And not only that, but he reads children's books on Sundays and during the weekend. If you have little ones, you've got to tune into him. He's just so incredible. I think everyone needs an Uncle Jesse. That's why I adopted him as my uncle. But what he says is we have to go in and take the risk because there's nothing holding us back. And I kind of want to gently push back on this a little bit because I think that I'm really relating this to financials because I think it goes hand in hand. In fact, I know it does. People think that the only way to get wealthy is to take a lot of risk. And I respectfully disagree. I teach people how to have wealth without risk. And it is absolutely possible. Now, there may be some things that you want to go ahead and have some risk, but we have to put that financial foundation. That's what the wall of wealth is. And I liken that to what we're doing here with technology. We're not saying get rid of everything. Like we didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater and now I'm somebody different and I'm singing a different tune. And all they're doing is shining it up, right? They're showing us how we can have the Web3, even if we don't understand everything. I don't know how all this motion stuff works. And I don't even know the language sometimes. Ms. Tara asked me a question. I said, I would love to tell you I know what that means, but I have no idea what you're talking about. She's teaching me so much stuff. And so before we get back to the question, I want to go ahead and talk to our Motion Works. We're going to let our Motion Works here we have a word from our sponsor is what I'm going to say. Okay.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Introducing Leah Garcia's Wall of Wealth, the ultimate one-page financial plan to protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth with confidence. Whether you're a business owner or just starting your financial journey, this step-by-step guide gives you the tools to create a solid foundation for long-term success. Don't wait to transform your money mind shift. Download your free copy today at leahgarcia.io and start building your wall of wealth now.
Is that so cool? So what I'm saying is that it's not that you folks said, forget the wall of wealth, forget everything that you've done, forget who you are, and we're going to reinvent somebody new. you took who I was and you showcased some areas that I wasn't aware of, right? Highlighted some things that I didn't know was possible. I didn't know about this motion work stuff. And so let's go back to, do we need to like take a risk? Are we looking at gambling a whole bunch of stuff in order to get to that Web3, Ms. Tara?
Well, I wouldn't say take a risk, because what happens is, as we know, evolution is, for instance, like my mom with the iPhone, is if she continues to use that iPhone 11, it's just going to phase her out, right? It's just going to completely phase her out of the business out of her technology, to where her phone will not work at some point. And so I wouldn't say that it's a risk, because the way that people and the companies bring it to market is small. Like I said, most of you guys are already utilizing Web3 application bases that are starting to migrate from Web2 to Web3. And what I mean by that, when I was sharing like the PayPal, the Zelle, the Cash App, is that if Miss Leah Cash Apps me $20, I have it instantly. Well, what we know as instantly, because I see it, it's gone from her side, it's in my side, that's instant. But what we don't realize is that the system behind the scenes is antiquated, and it's still on Web 2. And they are, Cash App sends it over, and Cash App's taking all the risks because they hold the funds for days until it settles. And so that's my point, that you're already utilizing and making the transition, whether you realize you are or not. For instance, you can jump onto Cash App right now, and I know I don't represent Cash App in any way. I don't get paid for them, but they are, those pay servers, those processors are great examples. Cash App, you can go out and buy Bitcoin. You can buy some other, cryptocurrencies. So they're making it feasible and right there where you're already utilizing. So imagine this, you walk up to the buffet and you eat this buffet every day because it's your favorite buffet. And all of a sudden they just added some more dishes on the end. And you're like, oh, great. I love chow mein and, baby back ribs or whatever it is that they've added, because they're bringing Web3 into the comfort zone of people, because they understand we do not do change well. So I wouldn't say that it's a risk that you have to take. It is evolution. And right now you would be in part to do your service of getting yourself there. So that way you get your seat, you get your space held. You are already in that arena when the masses show up. It's kind of like going to a concert and you're like, it's open, seat flooring, you can pick wherever you want to sit on the floor, in the seating. And you're like, I want to get there 6 hours earlier because I want a front row seat. It's, you want to get there sooner. And so on our end, people think, oh my gosh, that's risky what you guys are doing, because at the end of the day, when you guys show up, you guys are taking all of these, you're doing these Web3 things and Metaverse. And I'll use this as an example, just as we know, LinkedIn audio is no more. Most of the beautiful people listening, that's how we met you. That's how we connected with you. Most of the beautiful people on here are from LinkedIn audio, or that's probably where they've, met you or David or I, and it's no longer valid. And so when that platform went away, there's a need. People need to go find other platforms to move to. And it is common for people, as we have seen, to move to something comfortable. As you said earlier, it's easy to go back into that safety net and be in the non-survival mode, because our bodies do not want to be in survival. And people see technology as, that's too over my head. I don't have a technical degree. I don't understand it. And it's all it is pushing buttons. You push buttons to open a bank account. You push buttons to open up Facebook. You push buttons just to push buttons, But when we watched a bunch of people merge off of that platform over to, other platforms, we saw some people go to Zoom. We saw some people to go to Go Brunch. We saw some people go over to, other audio platforms like Clubhouse or, Fanbase. But we didn't see many people pivot to Web3. And a lot of people think it's because it's not it. And they're used to going back to what's comfortable. And I will just share that Zoom, audio rooms, even though we utilize them, they're going to be null and void. Go Brunch will be null and void. It's a 2D platform with a 3D screen, green screen behind you, like I do here. This is a green screen. You guys, as you see me move my finger around, you can see all the produce that's sitting right behind me. But my point being is that we have to understand that we can't be setting ourselves backwards. And I saw a lot of people that merged off of LinkedIn audio kind of take a technical debt stance and step backwards. And I don't mean to, ruffle any feathers, but it's the truth. There was an opportunity for you to move forward and you chose to go back to what was comfortable. And in reality, that is not going to move you forward, like you said, in the growth. And so we just have to understand when opportunity presents itself to get curious. And I will say this in my kind of, as I wrap this little, share up, is Miss Leah has a grandson. I bet he is the curious little critter ever. Like every child that is young is curious. Why this? Why that? Why does it do this? Why do we do that? How does that work? What are we going to do here? It's the curiosity. But as we grow, we lose curiosity because we don't want to put ourselves out there in the risk segment, which is, at the end of the day, not risk. It's asking questions. It's garnering knowledge that could possibly change your life. Look, I'll speak from my own sense here, in the sense that I used to do the same thing. I would stop and be like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to I'm not open to that. I don't want to have that conversation with that person. And when I realized I would just have conversations, a lot of times with people that were very technically advanced, they'd be like, oh, have you checked this out? I remember before Dave and I ever discovered virtual reality Metaverse, we were like, no, we were the same people. No, we don't want to go there. We don't want to get in the Metaverse. What is that going to do? And once we got in there, we went, oh, now we understand. But it took someone in our community to say, you guys need to get your business in there. If it wasn't for that person, I doubt we would be in there as soon as we were. I'm sure we would have made it there, but it's understanding that knowledge is power only if you apply it. And so and that goes back to the same thing within finances. Knowledge is power only if you apply it. And I will also say this, Miss Leah, it helps having people in the industry like yourself, who is a leader within the financial area and the insurance arena, to be able to lean in and ask those questions and say, I need some guided assistance. Just like you leaned into us when you're like, I need some guided assistance here because I don't understand this. And the beautiful thing about this is we can make this merger 2-3, like from 2 to 3. That was very oxy backwards, but from Web 2 to Web 3 by just pushing a button, leaning forward, and getting curious.
Yeah, that is so good. It really, what is a blind spot? It is something we're unaware of. It's not that we're not good people. It's not that we're not great at our craft. It's just an area that we're not aware of. We don't even know what we don't know. And unless we're willing to your point, get curious, we're going to stay where we are. And listen, nothing good happens in being static. Nothing good happens, not in your finances, not a static money, and also not in our technology. We will be left behind. We absolutely will. And I kind of want to highlight this comment. Miss Christine, thank you for joining us. It's awesome to see you here. We're going to kind of unpack this a little bit. And she likes Go Brunch, and I do too. I actually have a Go Brunch account, and I'm going to be setting that up with Mr. Richard. And it's not to say that there is not a place for these things. Listen, I want to be everywhere that I possibly can. Two things. Number one is that if we're staying in an audio format only, we have to be very, very careful, because at last count, I just listened to this podcast and they were talking about there's like over 80,000 podcasts. So if we're going to stay in an audio only, that's a lot of noise that we got to try to cut through. Maybe 2 or 3 or 5 years ago, you could go ahead and easily create a podcast and make millions of dollars, but that's becoming very, very difficult to do if we're going to stay in the audio only. And this is the thing, Christine, Miss Christine, that I really grasped Go Brunch is great. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and set up my account there. But the Metaverse with the Hello LLC Plaza is so much more than what you're seeing here. And you folks are going to watch me. You're watching me do this in real time. Go back and look at a couple of my Wealthy Wednesdays, a year ago, right? A couple of weeks ago. I didn't have this incredible banner. Go back and look at my Wall of Wealth. It was a PDF, right, that I had a few months ago. And I didn't have these AI tools. And what I'm saying is that there's so much more with this platform, because now I'm taking myself into an entire underbelly that a lot of people have no idea that is there. And you're going to watch this happen with my business. You're going to see other layers. It's not just about my biz in a box. However, my biz in a box is beautiful. You got to check it out. Even if you don't want one, you got to check it out. It's beautiful. But what this is having the access to people, having access to me in other ways, in other spaces, in places that they could not find me if just by Googling my name or finding a static website that ends there. The Metaverse doesn't end. Well, I don't know. I'm sure there's an end somewhere, but we're talking about having, an audio room or a room where people can go in and they can actually start learning financial strategies. They can start learning financial concepts in real time, being active, having a room where I can bring in my team and we can do a workshop and a webinar, and they can bring up PowerPoints and things, and they don't have to get on camera. So this is really a paradigm shift. Listen, like I said in the beginning, what got us here won't get us there. If we're trying to statically hold on to for dear life to those audios because we're camera shy, we are going to find ourselves extinct. And it's not to say that I love being on camera, but what I'm saying is I understand that it's part of the process. So let's talk about, so hopefully that helps. I would love to hear your feedback, Miss Tara.
Yeah, there's nothing, I'm not picking on Go Brunch in particular, but what I am sharing, just like a beautiful Miss Kendra noted here, is her takeaway is to pivot. When you're making the pivot, move forward, not backwards. And that's simply what I'm sharing with people, is that when you have that opportunity, look at what's going to increase yourself, your knowledge, your portfolio, your wealth. And wealth does not mean just pocketbook. That could be mindset, that can be relationships, and and whatnot. And so it's understanding that the human nature is to go to something that is similar in nature. And like you said, what got us here is not going to get us there. And let me tell you, what got David and I here to where we are today will not get us to where we're going. And I'm going to be very frank. If David and I didn't do what we've done through our business, now we wouldn't be where we are today. We had to understand that the psyche of how humans work, we have to understand the technical side of that, the technical debt, the technical knowledge, and understanding how people will just want to naturally navigate. And so, Go Brunch, if that's what people love, great, go ahead. But what Ms. Leah shared and what I'm sharing is that it is not going to move you forward into an immersive space. It is not going to move you forward. If someone is not in Go Brunch talking to you, sharing knowledge, there's no knowledge in Go Brunch, period. And or Zoom or Clubhouse. If someone's not there presenting information, there's no knowledge. The difference between Metaverse is you can show up to our Hello Plaza, you could show up to anybody else's Metaverse and be able to go through there and get the experience and the knowledge without anybody being there. Like Miss Leah was sharing, is that she can set up a walking tour almost through her Metaverse to where people would pop up and be like, where it's sharing the wall of wealth. Step 1 or level 1, level 2, level 3, as she's walking through Metaverse, and AI is giving her information and you're able to ask AI questions. And so it comes back to understanding that just because you see Metaverse and you're thinking that it's similar to Zoom or to Go Brunch or to, any of the other audio LinkedIn rooms, it's not, because if you're not in those rooms and those 2D platforms, there's no value being produced. And in Metaverse, Dave and I can put up a video. We can put up our AI tools and modules, and people like David just walked up to him and I, where they are our AI avatars that answer questions. You can come here and experience and get all the knowledge about HELLO LLC and what we're up to without ever having to talk to this beautiful face or David's beautiful face. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I am a person, let me just tell you this. I am the laziest, hardest working person you'll ever meet. What does that mean, Tara? Because people hear laziest and they're like, oh, you're lazy. No, I'm extremely hardworking, but I refuse to do things repeatedly. If AI, Web3 technology can do it for me, and I can build a system that it can do it for me, at that point, I now am rich. You know why? Because my time is money, and I refuse to waste my time, which is money, on things that are creating technical debt, rather than me creating technical knowledge and improvement and moving that direction and understanding that I become wealthy with more time I come back. And I'll end it like this. All of us are after the riches. And what I mean by that is we all want time freedom. We all want time freedom. That is why we want money in our bank account. That's why we want to have, retirement funds and portfolios set up. That's why we have insurance portfolios set up, because we want to make sure that when we get to a certain point in our life, we have enough money in the bank so I can say, well, I want to sleep into 11 today and then do yoga and then get my hair done and have lunch and then come home and watch a movie and go to bed. That's my time freedom. That's what I want to do. And people don't realize that your money and your time is your money. And that's, at the end of the day, I don't want to be that person that you were talking about, which is like my brother, who works their behinds off and they're just killing themselves, literally. That's why I left corporate America. Because I was like, I am not working for someone else to build their dream when I can do this easier, better, faster, and then I can choose how my day is spent. So
yeah, that was fire. Oh my goodness, you brought your golden nuggets today. Listen, folks, here is the bottom line. Things change whether we like it or not. I'm going to highlight this comment by Kiana. Remember when we used to do this dial up, the AOL, we had that noise. Imagine the feeling of we would never tolerate that now. If it were not here instantly, we're like calling up our carrier and finding out what is going on here. Who do you think you are, trying to keep me off of being online? So I'm going to share with you how it applied to me. And I know it applies to a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners who are working really hard. And that's not to say that you don't need to work hard, obviously. But what we're saying is, are you working hard on the right things? Listen, before I had some of these systems in place, I'm going to tell you, I was constantly in the back of my mind. I have to post. I have to think of, what am I going to do? What am I going to share? And those things were constantly ruminating. No matter what I was doing, it was in the back of my mind. Can I use this? How do I position that? And now, because it's freed up some of that space, now I actually have the time to really sit and meditate on the things that I need to do to move my business forward. I'm not all worried about how this technology works and creating a banner and having all these different posts. My social media presence, if you folks haven't seen it, listen, I have grown exponentially in just the past 2 months. We're talking about, it's only been 2 months, and I can't take any credit for that. Okay, I really can't. It is my incredible team, Miss Christmas and Mr. Mike Drop, who make me look incredible. And they want to help all of us make us look incredible. So this is how it applies to me, is that I could actually now work on my business instead of constantly working in my business, sweeping the floors, stocking the shelves, and I can focus on the things that are the money-making activities. It frees up the bandwidth, my mind space, right? My thinking space to be able to be creative in my business. And if we are not leveraging that, we are missing the boat. Things are changing. Everything is changing. The way we bank is changing. The way that we shop has changed. Everything has changed. If we want to buy something, back in the day, I had to get dressed up and go to the mall. and take my kids and family and all of them with me. Now, my grandson, my precious grandson, we were shopping on Amazon, putting things in his Amazon cart, right? He knows. And he has to get 3 A's on his spelling test 3 weeks in a row before he gets to pull something out of the shopping cart. But here's the thing, if we're not evolving, we are becoming dinosaurs and we will be extinct. So what are some things how does it apply to us as business owners, entrepreneurs? Let's say, we don't have a lot of employees. We've just got a few employees and we're really kind of getting to that next level. How does this apply to us?
Well, I will share this. Web3 is going to be a stress reliever. and I know that sounds a little oxymoron, and I'll explain why. And it's because we're going to be able to have our fingertips, on the capabilities of working smarter, not harder. So like I shared earlier with myself, I'm going to create something, a system. I'm going to create an AI model that can be able to do that task for me. If I'm doing a repetitive task, I'm going to go out there and be able to control the system of that. So I know it's getting done to my liking, to our brand, and to our quality. But I'm going to say this. I'm not opposed to employees and having employees, because I was an employee for 22 plus years in corporate America. But I watch my brother, and he's a great example, and I always pick on him, and that's what little sisters get to do. But I watch my brother, who has owned his own business over 30 plus years, and he is in heavy equipment. He's in excavation and trucking. And so he has to have employees. And boy, I will get on the phone when we chit chat, and he will be like, oh, this employee or that employee, and the turnover rate and all of these things. And I just think to myself, and David and I both go, no employees for us. We will stick in the Web3 era and be able to utilize AI employees. That way, there's no insurance claims, there's no health insurance, there's no, the personality of understanding a person. Some days they have good days, some days they have bad days, some days they have productive days, some days not so much, some days they don't even come to work, things like that. And that's normal. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But we are evolving. And for a business owner as myself, and as I share with my brother, and we have other conversations with other business owners, that headache is a huge, just like you were sharing, Miss Leah, that, oh, I got to post. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I got to go do this. Oh, I got to do this. That stress, that being the janitor of having to kind of, okay, I got to do this, and then I got to do this, and then I got to do this, and there's not enough days or hours in the day to do it. Being able to utilize technology eliminates that stress. Yes, technology has its own little stress in there of learning how to do it. But once you learn it, it's good. It's not like that repeated stress that shows up, if you have an employee. And again, I'm not bashing employees, because I was one for many years. And I understand there's a lot of people out here that are still doing that because they need to do that in order to bring in income and not be in survival mode, So we're on a double-edged sword, and that's where we're coming from, the Web 2 to Web 3. The beautiful thing about this, and this is one thing that I want to share as we wrap up this beautiful conversation today, is that most people don't realize that we're in 2025. By 2030, our financial system is going to look completely different.
Yes.
Our employee, like the corporations and the businesses and our employees are going to look completely different. Right. Our society is going to look completely different. Look, go back to the 90s where we started in Web 1. We're completely different from that. It doesn't seem like we are, but we are, just like you and shared about the dial-up, and the beautiful comment that was like, oh, technology is wild. If we had to deal with dial-up these days, we would all lose our heads. I have a computer that sometimes, my video card needs to be upgraded, which I need to get a new computer. And so sometimes my Metaverse will lag out just a bit, and it drives me crazy. You know what I mean? Because we're so used to instant at our fingertips. And I don't think people realize that there's a huge change going on behind the scenes right now within our financial sector with cryptocurrency, fintech, and our old banking system of SWIFT. That's changing, and people don't know that. And that is changing the way everything will be done. And so just hold on to your hats. If you want to learn more about that, we're here all the time to share. I mean, just plug into David and Tara. We're always talking about it. But my point being is get curious. You've got to get curious about Web3. And please take on the statement of work smarter, not harder, because you are increasing your technical debt as you work harder, because we're trying to do things the old way because we don't want to navigate to the new way.
Yeah. And to your point, Bank of America is now using XRP, hot off the press. If you guys don't know that, if you didn't know, now you know. Okay. So we have to evolve, whether we like it or not, things are changing. And so let's see, I want to highlight, welcome Queen Dr. Leslie Flowers. Listen, if you don't have your goals set up yet for 2025, you need to get with Miss Queen Dr. Leslie Flowers. She has an incredible course that I took, and it is fire. I think she's going to replay that or have that opportunity up again. And we are winding down here. Thank you for joining us. Of course, Godfather of LinkedIn, thank you so much for joining us. So you've done so much, I can't even imagine. What is on the horizon for HELLO LLC and Mr. Mike Drop and Miss Christmas in 2025?
Yeah, well, before I answer that, I want to tack on to the Bank of America that you stated that, now they're sharing with the general public that they're using it, but they have been using it behind the scenes for many, many moons. Unfortunately, they cannot share that information until it is fully regulated. And so them leaking information right now saying we're using it is just a preview of where we are going. Wells Fargo's doing the same thing. JP Morgan Chase is doing the same thing. BlackRock investment firm, Vanguard, all of these financial institutions have their ducks in a line ready for when that switch gets flipped. And by the way, that switch is regulations. And I am not a political person. I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. But I will say with the new administration that's showing up, that is why we are going to see a huge change in 2025. Regardless how you feel about that, that is what's going to happen. And it's because they're moving forward Web3 assets, AI, fintech, which is the cryptocurrency, and the Metaverse, AR, VR. And so we've got to understand at the end of the day, where we're moving is in the same alignment. I do a lot of research, guys. I listen, David can vouch for this day in and day out. I listen to Web3 podcasts day in and day out about what the future is, what people are working on, where they're going, and the people that love to connect the dots to show, where we're moving from one system to the new system, because understanding where we're going is what makes it less scary, less risk, and being able to lean into conversations like what Leah and I are having today. And so, 2025 is going to be amazing for us. We're going after bigger companies. We're going to show bigger companies how they can too get into the metaverse, because BMW's already in there, American Airlines, IKEA. Guys, you can go into IKEA right now on Metaverse. You can shop. You can show up to the checkout, and there's real life people at the checkout, like a cashier, taking your money, your card, and making that transaction as if you went to the IKEA in your local, city. And so you have to understand it's already here. Companies, Gucci's in there, whether you're a, brand name fan or not. There's so many brand names that are showing up in there because they understand, just like you said, Miss Leah, my grandson and I, we shop on Amazon and put it in the cart. We no longer have to get ready and go to the mall and do all of these. And to be frank, the malls are going to turn into like senior community, event centers, or even event centers in whole. And what I mean by that is malls are no longer going to be around, because by 2030, we're going to be fully submersed in this. And most people are not going to be really kind of down to go this direction because it's unknown and they're scared. And this is why David and I share from the HELLO LLC is it's not scary, guys. You don't have the nuclear codes. You can't push a button that's going to blow anything up. Jump in, be able to, I saw a beautiful comment on here from one camera shy lady to another camera shy lady. None of us are really camera shy, but we're all in our head about what other people think. Well, it's great when I can show up in my pink suit with my pink hair and don't have to worry about what I physically look like. My voice is showing up, my image is showing up, and people are still leaning into the conversation. So bigger and better things this year is all about wrapping around the Web3, understanding how to help others, other companies, other businesses, and other professionals utilize this technology to make yourself great.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
25.
That's right. So I know people are going to want to reach you. How do they connect with you? How do they reach you? Where are they going to find you? If they're not in the metaverse and they have no idea they can even spell it, where can they reach out to you folks?
Absolutely. Below my name there, HELLO LLC.io. You can jump in. That is our business in a box smart link, your gateway to an experience. That's not only to an experience of what we do, how to connect with us, but also about how to be able to see what other people are up to. But really, at the end of the day, you can go out to any social media channel you want to and find us at The Hello LLC, or you can go to TheHelloLLC.io, like I shared, and all our social media is at the top of that smart link. And really lean in. Guys, if anybody's curious about learning more about how Web3 assists them or can assist their business, we would love to show you. We'd love to give you a free tour. Jump into and book a 30-minute discovery call. It's gratis, as they say here in Mexico, free. It's complimentary. We want to be able to help educate the community so that they understand and can make a powerful, educated decision moving forward. And last but not least, I will end it again with this. Just push the button. Whatever you're doing in life, just do it. You do not have the codes to blow yourself up or anybody else up. And so let's move forward with life and increase our technical improvement and knowledge instead of going backwards.
Absolutely. It's happening, folks. It's already here. Wow, this was so incredible. What did I tell you? This is not rainbows and puppy dogs. This is the real deal. We talk about the real stuff here. And it may feel a little bit uncomfortable, but that's okay because that's the first step. And I promise you, these two will hand carry you across the finish line if needed. Listen, I still can't even say a lot of these terms. I don't really know exactly what they mean, but look at this incredible banner. I mean, you got to look at my business box. You can see the results speak for themselves. So listen, folks. If you are here on this show, if you're watching this event, you truly are the one in your family that is here to change your last name forever. You're the one to change your family's financial future. Listen, I didn't come to this industry to make a little bit of money. I came here to be freaking stinking wealthy, and I make no apologies about that because there are a lot of people who are connected to my red wagon, just like a lot of people are connected to your red wagon. So it's my responsibility to do everything I can to be able to position myself in the right place because it's not just about having money. Right? If you just have this money and it's just there, it's static, it can't do anything. It's just a tool. And it's a tool that can help you to improve yourself in all areas of your life. True wealth is having success in all areas, in your faith, in your family, in your finance, your fitness, and fun. Funner is fun with more money. It absolutely is. And when I have more money, I can donate more money. I can give more money. I can give more money back to my community and build my community center, which is absolutely going to happen. So we're looking for sharp people. If you want to look at making some extra income or you want to get your financial house in order, please reach out to us. So that's going to do us. Thank you so much, beautiful people. We love you. We appreciate you. I love all the comments. I'm super excited. Please check out HELLO LLC. Please check out my business box and see the incredible work that they do. It's all custom. So with that, we're going to let my motion works take us out. Thank you so much, everyone.
Hey there, I'm Leah Garcia. Have you ever wanted a career where you truly make a difference in people's lives? I'm building a team of driven financial and insurance professionals, people who want to help families and businesses protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth with confidence. If you're passionate about guiding others to achieve financial security, then you're exactly who I'm looking for. Join my supportive, growth-oriented environment and unlock your full potential. Ready to take the next step? Visit leahgarcia.io and let's start building your future together.